Man, missed all of last year. Can't believe that. Well, 2022. We're at week 6 already. Man. Are my expectations gone? I'll tell you what. But we're not going to get into that early. We're just going to get into the other teams. This is basically just going to be basic league talk. Getting into it, same old like it was last year. Except I'm going to try to get every week. I'm going to do it. Right now we're at week 6. And my season's over. So might as well talk about the other teams. Let's get down to it. We're going to go down the list of just the worst teams. Let's get them out the way because they're nothing to really get excited about, or there's nothing really to talk about. The Commanders this season. Man, what a disgrace of a football team. Their stadium sucks. Their team sucks. Their coaches suck. They just suck. There's no real star player on that team other than Terry McLaurin. And that's just sad. And they signed him. They signed him to that extension. So he's stuck. He's stuck with the booty team. They have nobody. They can't move the ball effectively. They can't score. They have no playmakers. Their offensive line is horrible. Carson Wentz, did anyone actually think he was going to do anything? Because I didn't. I'll tell you that. He was just a horrible pickup, I think. I think they just settled for just a mid-quarterback. Commanders couldn't do anything with the free agency money. No one wanted to go there, so they had to get the scraps at quarterback, and Carson Wentz what was left. The defensive line is surprisingly really bad. They were a lot better last year. I was expecting them to be pretty good. Chase Young, though, I think he missed this. I think he's going to be out the whole season, though, with the ACL. Wow. And an MCL. The boy destroyed his knee. Did not know that. They're not doing nothing. Y'all clearly see. What are they, 1-4? Pretty trash. Pretty trash. I think the biggest downfall is just, they're in such a tight division. I have them losing the division, but not getting blown out. You know what I mean? I thought the Giants were going to make that a little closer than it was, but they're holding their own. They're holding their own. I appreciate that. Let's go with the Steelers next. The Steelers. They have 3 quarterbacks with the same skill level as their 1, 2, and 3. I don't know how you can win football games like that. Mike Tomlin is an amazing coach, but, even he can't bring that team back to life. It's impossible. Najee Harris is he's just an okay running back. He does whatever you need him to do, but he's not going to be a superstar. He's just going to do everything basic. You know what I mean? I'm hoping that he can evolve into an amazing running back, but I feel like he's already kind of old. I feel like he's already 26, 25. He's probably not that old, but he plays like it. And I'm just hoping he can do it a little bit better. The receiving core is a little underrated. You got Claypool, TikTok master. He's not really doing crazy numbers this season. Not that they have a quarterback to give him the ball, but Deontay Johnson, he's making some clutch plays. He's evolved into a decent receiver, and people are sleeping on him. I'll tell you that. George Pickens is a beast. He is a beast, a diamond in the rough. I did not know of this man until the preseason or into the memes, but he's a beast. He is a beast. Their offensive line is very, very mid this year, but Has there ever really been any good offensive linemen in the last couple of years, except for that really tall left tackle that they had that retired? Their defense is not playing as good as I imagined they would. Their defense is playing okay. But with the players that they have, I thought they would be balling out. They did get that one linebacker back. He was out last year with a knee injury. He was out the year. What was his name? Devin Bush. He has not been doing anything. I remember the Broncos wanted him over Noah Fant a couple of drafts ago, and I was fine with either of them. But Devin Bush has been a big letdown. So is Noah Fant. Broncos would have whiffed either way. Someone who is not breaking out like I thought they would is Miles Jack. You would think Miles Jack would thrive in the Steelers defense. He has done absolutely nothing and has been just a waste of money, honestly. Minka Fitzpatrick, unfortunately, I don't know where he's been. Usually he's making plays. I think he has an interception, though. He has one interception. No one's really throwing to him. Man, I don't blame them. I think he's the second best safety in the league, to be honest. People really don't give him credit when it's due. And it's a little bit annoying, not gonna lie. I also... TJ Watt is what makes this defense go. I mean, I think if he didn't get hurt, he's getting Defensive Player of the Year. He's just that good. I don't know how he's that good, but he is amazing. A very underrated player. Even though he's very popular, I feel like people underestimate his athletic abilities. He's a very, very good defensive end. Let's go with the Raiders. Let's just get them out the way. I hate the Raiders with a passion. The Raiders and the Chiefs are just awful, awful teams. I cannot believe, like I said, I'm going to get to the Broncos later, but the Raiders, wow. There's a lot of teams that are choking these wins and these games away. And the Raiders are doing the best at that. The Raiders are literally 1-4 when they could be 4-1 right now. I mean, they're losing all these games with less than a touchdown. They're losing to the Chargers week 1 by 5 points. They lose to the Cardinals. To Kyler Murray running around for a trillion yards in the fourth quarter. They lose to the Titans. The Titans are awful. And they choked against the Chiefs. How do they choke against the Chiefs? They were up 17-0. And you're going to let the Chiefs win. There was 5 things in that game that just let the Chiefs win. And it's like people forget how to play football when they, play the Chiefs. So it makes the Chiefs look amazing. And of course they beat us. So, is that really an accomplishment? I don't think so. But the Raiders, Josh Jacobs is doing amazing. People with their fantasy teams who have Josh Jacobs are very thrilled. He's balling out, getting tons of yards every game. And he's a tough runner. Very tough runner. As much as I hate the Raiders, I really like Josh Jacobs, to be honest. He's a very good running back, and unfortunately really fits the Raiders' scheme. I think the Raiders have the best run offensive line behind the Browns. The Raiders have a very underrated offensive running scheme that people overlook, especially with only one running back. Josh Jacobs is doing everything. I don't even know who the backup running back for the Raiders is. Is it still Kenyon Drake? When have you seen him get on the field? Because I don't. Derek Carr. Just Derek Carr. He's not going to do anything crazy. He's going to make a couple big plays here and there, but He has no clutch gene, as y'all can see. Devontae Adams has been a letdown, in my opinion. He's getting about 15 to 20 targets a game, so relax with all the yards and touchdowns and stuff. When you get that many, you're going to eventually get yards and touchdowns. So Devontae Adams, unfortunately, as much as I really love Devontae Adams, he's just having an okay season. If you look at the amount of targets he has, he's probably has second most in the league behind Cooper Kupp. So with the numbers that he has, he should have a lot more production. Max Crosby is a beast. People do not realize how good this man is at that position. He is strong, fast, and smart. I hate when the Broncos have to play the Raiders because Max Crosby balls out every single time. Him and Josh Jacobs, they just ball out consistently. Darren Waller, where has he been? Haven't heard his name. Everyone calls him the second best tight end in the league right now, and what is he? Has he been injured? Trash. Haven't heard of him. Signed a big deal. Haven't heard of him since. Basic Raiders. Defensive players on the Raiders other than Max Crosby, I don't really know anybody because no one else is making plays. So, yeah, the Raiders choking somehow are worse than us, which is something to be not proud of. Let's go with the Lions. The Lions. Wasn't everyone a fan of them on the Hard Knocks? Everyone was saying how amazing they were going to be. They're a change team. People forget that the Lions will always be the Lions. It doesn't matter who they have on their roster. The Lions will always be the Lions. Don't ever get that twisted. And Lions fans, y'all know it. We know it. Y'all suck. And, I mean, somehow the Broncos are better than the Lions. Just let that keep it. A lot of people are saying the Lions should be a better team, though. Their record definitely doesn't show what kind of team they have. The Lions are actually a decent team. You know, they're a decent team this year. They're just losing really dumb games. They lost to the Eagles by 3 points. Almost beat the Eagles. The best team in the league currently. Maybe. Not sure. I mean, you got to beat the Commanders. They lost to the Vikings. Didn't know that. They somehow let Kirk Cousins beat them. And they lost to the Seahawks in a very disgusting game by 3 points. That was an insane game. There was 93 points scored in that game, and the Lions lost. I don't even remember the last time the Lions scored that many points. That's probably the most points they've ever scored in the history of the team. And then they lost to the Patriots. They got blown out, shut out. I don't know. I don't watch anything of the Lions. I'm a big DeAndre Swift fan. I don't think he's balling out this season, unfortunately. But, I mean, they're the same team every year. They're just going to compete and then lose. Like, they're almost good enough to beat a team, but they lose. And that's just the Lions, you know? Jeff Okudah is apparently balling out and doing really good. I think he was hurt last year with an ACL as well. I'm not really sure. But I think he's balling out this season, so at least they have a young star in corner, because you know how difficult it is to find corners in the draft. You know, it's a very difficult position nowadays with all the pure athletes at the receiver position. It's a very difficult, probably the hardest position other than quarterback to play, to be honest with you. Let's go out with the Panthers. Man, I was the biggest Baker Mayfield defender. I defended him continuously, over and over again. The amount of hate that this man got. And I stuck by him. Man, I feel so stupid. Baker Mayfield is trash. And I can't believe I'm saying that. I was really excited when he was leaving Cleveland. I can't believe they kind of just threw him out for Deshaun Watson, even though the Browns kind of knew what was going on. And I'm not going to lie, I wanted Deshaun Watson on the Broncos. And that was before it started being like really crazy with the amount of, cases that were coming out. Before it was just, it was on the down low. It wasn't that bad. And then once it just started getting out of control, I'm like, wow, I don't want him on my team. It's going to be very toxic if he ends up going to the Broncos, and luckily he didn't. But, yeah. Man, the Panthers. I'm not a Sam Darnold fan. I knew he was going to be trash last season. Knew he wasn't going to win the starting job over Baker Mayfield. And I was correct on both. Baker Mayfield won the starting job. Matt Rule, first of all, what a stupid joke of a coach. I can't believe that Matt Rule literally got into the NFL. He was a Baylor head coach. Baylor. Not Alabama, Georgia, Florida, LSU. From Baylor. Baylor hasn't done anything since Robert Griffin III. And you're going to sign that head coach to turn the NFL franchise around? It was just a joke. Honestly, he's a joke. But with, everything that was going on, I just can't believe that they would even give him any type of contract for anything related to that. I think DJ Moore. Who is the Panthers receivers right now? Because I believe that there's some ballers on that receiving core, if I'm not mistaken. Robbie Anderson is an underrated receiver. Said it time and time again. He was the only bright star on that Jets offense when he was in New York. I was a very big fan of Robbie Anderson. And when he got traded to the Panthers, along with, Sam Darnold, they didn't come in together, but you know what I mean. I felt so bad for him. I was like, man, he was about to escape Sam Darnold, and he has to go right back to him. So when Baker Mayfield got there, I was like, okay, he's about to unleash Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore. This is about to be an explosive offense. And, man, it is bad. It's so bad. Christian McCaffrey is getting hurt every 2 plays. Ever since he got injured that one big time, he has never came back. If this man was made of metal, he would be the MVP. But because he's not, and made of human, just like everyone else, he has literally missed more games, I think, than played games in his entire career. I think the Panthers need to move on. Trade him, get as much as you can right away, because this guy is not, he's not going to be what he ever was. He put in almost a month and a half extra in rehab to keep his body fresh for the season. And in the 3rd or 4th week, he was hurt. He just can't stay healthy. It's impossible for him. I just don't understand how he is hurt this often. And they're serious injuries. They're not little 1 week things. He's out multiple weeks. And it's pretty sad. I was a big fan of Christian McCaffrey. But Panthers defense is non-existent. I feel like they were balling out all last season. And I was really excited to see what they were going to do with the new players, and just, I don't know. They had a lot of injuries last year, and I was expecting them to kind of explode on to the scene. But, man, they didn't do anything. This defense is just incredibly bad, unfortunately. The Panthers are just in a major rebuild at the moment, and there's nothing else for them to really do at this point. Except, I don't even know. I think you need to let Baker Mayfield walk. Trade Sam Darnold. Let the rookies start next season. What's his name? Matt Corral. I think that's his name. Just let him start. Get rid of those quarterbacks. Get rid of McCaffrey. Just rebuild. Get as much as you can. Because, this team is going to fall apart if they keep putting these Band-Aids on this positions. It's incredible. Let's go with the Texans next. The Texans. Didn't they have some drama this offseason? Man, oh man, oh man, the Texans. Dameon Pierce is a decent running back. He's a decent running back. I give him credit when credit's due. I didn't think he was going to do anything. But he's almost single-handedly kind of carrying this Texans offense because they don't have anyone. And I'm very impressed with them. I think they got a bright star. People in fantasy, I would pick him up if you don't got him or trade for him because he's getting a lot of targets, or a lot of carries. So keep that in mind. I also do not believe that they don't have any defensive players that I'm interested in. Their defensive players are just... I can't even name anyone. They have the rookie corner, and he's not even doing that great. He's doing okay. But, other than that, I don't really see the Texans really doing anything. They don't have a good roster, and their depth in each position is very weak. The offensive line is just okay. None of them are good. None of them are trash. Well, probably trash, but none of them are good. I don't even know anyone in their receiver room besides Brandon Cooks. They don't even have a tight end that brings a raised eyebrow. Nothing. This team is just... It just looks like bits and pieces, And the Texans need to do something quick. Not it's their fault. Bill O'Brien just put them in a horrible, horrible situation. He's the one to blame. But the Texans are definitely in a very slow rebuild, and they need to speed that up immediately. I'm not a Davis Mills fan. I don't think he's a starter in this league. He can't make plays. He can make some nice throws, but he's not clutch. He's not a killer. This guy is just a backup quarterback. There's no other way to say it. He was kind of thrown into the fire, though, so you got to give him kudos for that. But, they need to do something. Because before they know it, this team is in a very slow rebuild in a very easy division. So they need to hurry up and get better fast. Let's go with a team that over the years I began to hate more and more. The Seahawks. So I was never a Seahawks fan. I was even less of a Seahawks fan when they destroyed my Broncos in the Super Bowl. But there was always one player that I really, really liked. And it was Russell Wilson. I could never root for him because of how much I hated the Seahawks. So when he came to Denver, best believe I was very excited. Man, I cannot believe the Seahawks are better than us. And a lot of teams. Geno Smith, not going to lie, he surprised me. Had hats off to Geno Smith. But don't you call him better than a lot of these quarterbacks. Don't get it twisted. This man has been in this scheme playbook for 4 seasons. He's mastered this. 4 years on one team as a quarterback. Not a lot of quarterbacks in this league today have that situation. So, think about that. This man has been in the scheme. He knows the offense. He has chemistry with the players. There's no excuse for him to not be winning this in this league. It is surprising me how good he is doing compared to what I thought he was. But, like I said, don't get it twisted. Geno Smith is still Geno Smith. And y'all will see that. They just lost Rashad Penny to a knee injury or a leg injury, and he's out for the season. So, they don't really have any run at running back besides him. Like, at all. And I'm really, as much as it sucks that Rashad Penny is hurt out for the season, you never want to see a player go out for the season. But, all the Geno Smith lovers, let's see what he can do. He's so great. Let's see what he can do with no run game. It's a big test for him, or not a big test at all, depending on how you see Geno Smith. I was a little disappointed that Drew Lock didn't win that starting job, but looking at Geno Smith play, I understand why he didn't win the job. But, I'm always going to be a Drew Lock fan. I feel like he never got a fair shot in Denver, and, I'll always root for him. Their running backs, like I said, they're not going to help him out. We got DK Metcalf, Will Dissly, Noah Fant, Tyler Lockett. To me, I think those are the only 4 players who can catch a football on this team. And that's all you really need. Because, not like Geno Smith is going to bomb 50, 60-yard passes. He's going to just get the little check downs and short little throws like he's always done his entire career. But the Seahawks defense, non-existent. Absolutely non-existent. Pretty pathetic, to say the least. I'm not a Jamal Adams fan. I think he's one of the worst starting safeties in the league. I think, honestly, he should just put on a bunch of pounds and switch to linebacker. He would be the best middle linebacker if he put on, 40 pounds. And, he shouldn't be playing safety. He's not good enough. He just blitzes and is one of the worst coverage starting safeties in the league, if not the worst. He can't cover. He can't catch. He can barely tackle. No. He can tackle pretty good. But he doesn't have, crazy hitting power like he did in New York. I don't know where that hitting power went, but it's no longer in there. I can't believe they gave up so much for him. Typical Seahawks move. But, yeah. Seahawks. Somehow, they have 2 wins. Well, 1 against us. But, yeah. The Seahawks. The freaking Seahawks, man. Don't you just love them? The only other team that they beat besides the Broncos was the Lions. When they blew them out. Or not blew them out, but, that high-scoring game. 48-45. Somehow they managed to put that many points up. Have no idea how. Didn't watch that game. Because 2 teams I don't really care about. But seems like no defense was played. Both defenses aren't that good anyway, so. Let's go on to the Bengals. I'm not a Joe Burrow fan at all. In fact, I'm probably one of the biggest Joe Burrow haters. I don't like his demeanor, his attitude. I think it's very corny, Russell Wilson is corny, Joe Burrow is cringy corny. He's like that one white kid who never had white friends. You know what I mean? Like, he wants to fit in and wants to be, like, cool. You know what I mean? But, I mean, I don't like Joe Burrow. I don't like the Bengals. Never liked the Bengals. The Bengals offensive line isn't helping Joe Burrow. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd is an underrated trio of receivers. They also have Hayden Hurst, who is also an underrated tight end. I'm a big fan of Hayden Hurst. I like him. Very quality, decent tight end. Running backs, Joe Mixon. I've always been a fan of Joe Mixon. I think he doesn't get enough credit sometimes for how good he is. He's been on a horrible teams. And for him to finally get a chance to do something, and the Bengals kind of just, we're just going to be trash. This isn't the Super Bowl Bengals that we saw last year. This is just horrible play. Horrible coaching, by the way. Let's point that out. Horrible coaching. I don't care what no one says. I don't like that coach. That defense is not good. I mean, I'm not impressed with anyone on their defense except for that one safety, Jesse Bates. And even he's not doing that good, unfortunately. The Bengals are just maybe a one-hit wonder, I don't know if they're going to really do anything else besides that Super Bowl. I mean, I think they got kind of lucky that season, not going to lie. They have a decent kicker, though. Nick McPherson, I think his name. He's kind of cold. He misses the easy kicks, though. He makes the most difficult kicks and misses the easy ones. And you can't do that as a kicker. You can't do that. You got to at least be the opposite. But you can't do that. The Bengals, I mean, like I said, not impressed. Not a Joe Burrow fan. They need to step it up. I don't know really what's causing their non-success, but I'm going to have to say it's due to inconsistency, probably. Because I feel like they have the pieces, but, well, no, it's the offensive line. That's the problem. Forgot about that. Offensive line and inconsistent football is what's making the Bengals not good. Let's go with the Browns next, while we're in the division anyway. Nick Chubb is the best running back in the league. And if you don't think so, you're not watching football. Nick Chubb is a beast. He is the epitome of a running back, a classic old school running back. He's strong, fast, athletic, elusive, smart, durable. I mean, he is the best running back. Like, hands down. And it's not even close. People want to say, maybe Derrick Henry or, I don't know, other running backs. But it's Nick Chubb. And Nick Chubb is, he's in his own, little zone. I don't even put any running backs in his same category. That's how good Nick Chubb is to me. I think they have the best running back duo with him and Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt is, I feel like, an underrated running back. People forget that he's on the Browns sometimes. They have a crazy 1-2 combo. And their running scheme with the running offensive line, they have very agile offensive line. They are incredible in the run. Absolutely incredible. Jacoby Brissett is doing the best he can. Waiting for Deshaun Watson to come back. I don't know what this team's going to look like with Deshaun Watson. I feel like it could be the same. It could be amazing. Or, I don't think it's going to be trash. But we're going to have to see, because I'm very intrigued with what Deshaun Watson's going to bring. It's definitely going to be a crazy little reunion, because I think his first game back is with the Texans, or against the Texans. So we're going to see how that happens. Oh, man. And let's not forget how... So, I also feel like Myles Garrett is probably a top 5 player in this league, defensively. Myles Garrett is insane. People do not understand the type of athlete that Myles Garrett is. He is tall. He probably has like 4% body fat. He weighs like as much as a small defensive tackle. And he's faster than most linebackers. I mean, this guy is a freak athlete. I'm a huge fan of Myles Garrett. I know a lot of people hate this guy because of the whole, low temper type of stuff, but I'm a big fan of Myles Garrett. Big fan. And we're going to see what the Browns can do, because I feel like the Browns can be a scary team if they put the pieces together, because, that running offense it's incredible. Amari Cooper, I don't feel like he was a great addition. They got him for really cheap, so, what can you do? David Njoku is kind of stepping up. I was always a big David Njoku fan as well, but he was never really that good. But last season he did pretty decent and got himself a contract. Let's see what happens next, The Browns, they need to figure it out before the season gets too late, because they're in a tough division and you got to get out of there. Let's go with the Falcons. The Falcons somehow have 2 wins. I had them as a bottom 3 team coming into this season. So they're kind of breaking my expectations. Marcus Mariota, never was a fan of him. I don't even know what he's doing. I don't even know what his stats look like, but he's not turning the ball over, but he's also not making any plays. So, I guess he's just... I don't know what he's doing. This team sucks. Who watches the Falcons games on purpose? Like, unless your team's playing them, who's going to watch the Falcons? I'm not watching the Falcons. They have no running backs, by the way. Can you name anyone on the Falcons offense right now? Like, be honest. Besides Marcus Mariota. Can you name anyone? Because I can't. I don't know any of these players on this team. This team is just a bunch of random pieces. It's a joke, honestly. They need to rebuild quickly. Oh, I actually can name someone. Can y'all believe that y'all put Kyle Pitts? I know some of y'all. Some of y'all were saying that Kyle Pitts is going to be a crazy tight end. A generational tight end. And I'm looking at these people like, y'all are saying this about Kyle Pitts just because he's fast. Kyle Pitts is trash. They had him literally ranked so high, and he's so trash. People who watch football can tell you that Kyle Pitts is trash. If you said that Kyle Pitts was going to be good, you don't watch football. Kyle Pitts is just... Unless he's going to just magically break out next season, or at the end of the season. But, he's trash. You know what I mean? I don't think he was even first-round material. Maybe third-round material is what I saw him as. He is not first-round pick material. That's just facts. I don't know anyone on this team, guys. Who watches the Falcons? Who's a Falcons fan? This team sucks. There's like no one on this team that is worth mentioning except Young Ho Koo. You know what I mean? The Falcons is just a joke, man. I want to like the Falcons. I really do. I think they have a really cool history of players, but they need to just fix whatever is going on because this team is just a wreck, honestly. Let's go on with the Patriots next. Mac Jones. Good old Mac Jones and Bill Belichick. Never thought Mac Jones was that good anyway. He did surprise me that rookie season where he kind of, he held his own. But Mac Jones is just not starter material to me. I don't think he should be in that category of player. He's just not that good to me, to be honest with you. But this new guy that they got coming into the fire, what's his name? Bailey Zappe? I don't know. Looks better than Mac Jones. I mean, Bill Belichick is a magician for finding white guys that go past the 4th round. Incredible. I don't want to see Mac Jones come back, to be honest. I feel like Bill Belichick doesn't trust Mac Jones for big situations. But when you got a guy like Bailey Zappe, what's he have to lose? He's already the backup. He's just trying to go out there and make some plays. Help the team get a dub. Can't hate on that. But they do need some pieces. This Patriots offense is lacking everywhere. They're lacking in running back. Their offensive line, I feel like Bill Belichick and their coaching staff really makes the most trash offensive linemen average. You know what I mean? So they always have a decent O-line because, they don't spend any money on the offensive line. But they need some receivers, man. Hunter Henry can't be the only good target with hands. They got Nelson Aguilar. He's always hurt. He can barely catch anyway. Jacoby Myers. I was never a fan of this guy. Never has been. I don't think he's good. I think the Patriots need to move on. Devontae Parker. He was on the Dolphins for like a couple seasons. And they're like, oh, let's get him. He's destroying us every time we play him. I have not heard Devontae Parker's name called this season, so proves to see what he's doing. This defense is also very, very mid. They need some players on the defensive side because there's no one worth mentioning on this defense. Except Matt Judon. I like Matt Judon. He's pretty good. But this secondary is just awful. It's just really bad. They got Jabril Peppers. I like him. But he's not making plays, unfortunately. They need to step it up because, the Patriots always find a way to win, even with like horrible rosters. They're 2-3. They should be like 0-5, maybe 1-4. So, Patriots need to step it up, make some plays, make some moves in the free agency, get this team back. Actually, don't get this team back. We don't like the Patriots around here. Stay trash, actually. Just stay trash. Let's go on with the Bears. Bears. Sorry. The Bears are trash. I don't even know how they have 2 wins. This whole offense is just a big, mess. I was not expecting Justin Fields to be this bad. He's really bad. I think statistically, they're like breaking records for the Chicago Bears. Like, they're breaking records about how awful this team is in terms of stats, offensive stats. And that's pretty pathetic, you know. We're going to see, though, with... I don't know how they have 2 wins, to be honest. I just don't. I don't know how they win. Who did they beat? They beat the 49ers in that really wet, rainy game. I mean, when the weather's on your side, what can you do? That's a cheap win. They beat the Texans. I mean, it's a disgrace to not beat the Texans, honestly. If the Texans beat you, with this type of roster the Texans have, if the Texans beat you, I mean, you just go home. Just go home. I'm not even going to get into the Bears, man. The Bears are just horrible. There's no upside. They need to just revamp, rebuild immediately. This team is horrible. I love Eddie Jackson, though. I think he's an amazing safety. But outside of him, you need help. Big time. Let's go with the Cardinals. Kyler Murray. DeAndre Hopkins, who hasn't played because of the steroids or whatever he took. You got AJ Green. Old reliable, making those sideline possession catches for 4 yards. You know, typical AJ Green stuff. Christian Kirk, they're missing him big time. They are missing him big time. And, you know, it's a shame that they couldn't have just kept him, because he was making that offense go. You know, he's not doing anything in Jacksonville, but he was making that team go. And it pained me a little bit to see him go. They added Marquise Brown. Marquise Brown is just so inconsistent. So inconsistent. It's the reason why he's not in Baltimore anymore, is because of that. But, man, he was so inconsistent. But when he's on, he's so difficult to stop. Zach Ertz has been very quiet this season. They need to get him more involved, open up the pass game a little bit, open up the running game. They need to get him way more involved, and they need to do it quickly. The running backs aren't that good. You know, they got James Conner. He's always hurt. I think he's hurt right now. He is hurt. Wow. Yeah, I mean, other than James Conner, I don't know any of these guys. You know, so you need some help in the running back position, big time. But their defense is very, very mid, you know. I don't think their defense is good at all. They're not doing anything crazy. Budda Baker, I think, is also one of the top safeties in the league. I mean, he doesn't get enough recognition for what he does. He's a very good safety. Look up his tape. But Cardinals, they're pieces away, man. They're pieces away from getting really good really fast. You know, they're right there. They just need to get over that hump. I forgot they have J.J. Watt. You know, the guy who plays 2 games a season. I forgot they had him on the team. Also, overrated player, by the way. J.J. Watt had 1 good season. Relax. People want to put him up there at the top. No. Put him down there at the bottom. The Saints. Man. Man, oh man. What a strange team. I thought Jameis Winston was going to do kind of decent. And, wow. No. He didn't do anything decent. Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara. I was expecting big things. But that has been the biggest letdown, I think, in the running back cores in the league. Their offense is just it's a mess. It's a mess, honestly. It's random players with random skill sets that don't fit anyone, you know? And, I mean, I just don't see it. I don't see how this team, can do anything offensively. Defensively, they're not bad. The Saints always have a decent defense. But, the Saints are just a very strange team in a very odd division as well. They're 2-3, You beat the Chargers and you beat the Falcons. I'll give you the Chargers, but the Falcons, this should be an easy one. You know what I mean? Division win. Come on. I don't have anything for the Saints, man. I mean, who watches the Saints? Who says that the Saints are their favorite team? You know what I mean? Tyrann Mathieu on their team. He's an okay safety. I think he's very overrated. He's not trash, but he's overrated. I don't know. Let's see what the Saints can do, but I don't have high hopes for them. I think they're trash. Let's go with the Jaguars. Old Trevor Lawrence. Beautiful head of hair. What's he going to do? What's he going to do this season? Is he going to step up, make some plays, take over the game? I think he needs to be selfish. He needs to be selfish and do things his way because he's that good to do that. He doesn't need to be coached by these horrible coaches and have horrible players around him. He needs to be selfish and take matters into his own hands. He needs to turn this franchise around single-handedly because no one else is going to help him. They have no running backs. I mean, I can't name anyone on the Jaguars offense, and they added so many free agents. Other than Christian Kirk, I can't name anybody. They have Evan Ingram, which is one of the worst tight ends in the league. One of the worst tight ends. They need to just, lock down and just play some football. Because the Jaguars can be decent if they just, get the pieces, put it together correctly. This could be a scary team very quickly. But as of right now, they're no threat to anybody. So, let's see. Let's go with the Rams. Oh, Super Bowl champs. One-hit wonder, I'll say it again. I think Matthew Stafford's trash. I thought he was always trash. He goes to Los Angeles. Plays a really good season, Win the Super Bowl, It's the best thing you want to think about when going to a new team. This season, though, looks awful for the Rams. Injuries. Matthew Stafford has no faith in any of his receivers other than Cooper Kupp. He doesn't even try to throw it to anybody else. He just has no confidence in those guys. Just no confidence. He's not utilizing his tight ends correctly. He's not, at all. Offensive line also isn't really helping him. They're definitely pretty trash up front. No secondary really to help him out except for, Jalen Ramsey, but he's been getting burned all season. He's been getting exposed often. They got Bobby Wagner, Oh, solid playmaker, Mr. Durable. So, he's been pretty good. Pretty good, Now we got Aaron Donald. Aaron freaking Donald. I'll say I'll say it once. I'll say it again. Aaron Donald is the most overrated player in sports history. Not football. In sports. People hype this man up to be the best defensive player in NFL history. And it just boggles my mind. I'm not even a hater of Aaron Donald. It's just the fact I don't think he's godly like how everyone thinks he is. There's a lot of defensive tackles that I would actually pick over Aaron Donald. I cannot believe every year I have to hear Aaron Donald is the best. He's the best. It's insane to me. You know, he's not trash. I'm not saying he's trash. But the fact that people make him seem like he's just godly is what pisses me off. He's just Aaron Donald. I mean, nothing crazy. And it's very annoying having to hear that every single season. Very annoying. I don't think the Rams are going to do anything this year. They're choking. They can't do anything offensively. Their defense is falling apart. You know, it's a bunch of random pieces. Like I said, Jalen Ramsey's getting burned. So a lot of their number one receivers on other teams are like, oh, let me get Ramsey. You know, he's playing horrible this season. And they're exposing him, you know. Let's go on with the Colts. Colts have a very underrated defense. And they don't even have Darius Leonard in there. Very underrated defense. They have a very strong-willed defense. They play with nothing but confidence and grit. They don't have big names, but they go out there and get the job done. I respect that. They beat us. And I respect that. Matt Ryan, he was kind of forced to go to Indianapolis. Wasn't his choice. He doesn't fit their scheme at all. He shouldn't be on the team. But he is, unfortunately, you know. And I don't think he should be there. He has no reason to be there. But he's on there. And they're just not getting the job done. I think Phillip Lindsay needs to start running back at the moment. With Nyheim Hines out. He needs to start. They have some running backs. He's the third running back on the team. With Nyheim Hines hurt, Phillip Lindsay's the third running back on the team. Behind two no-names. Really? People sleep on Phillip Lindsay, dude. Like, give him the ball, dude. Like, for real? Y'all are going to make him the third string? He was the fourth string when Nyheim Hines was healthy. Incredible. Actually incredible. Paris Campbell is a trash receiver. He's trash. I don't care what no one says. He can't, he's fast, athletic, for no reason. But he's a horrible receiver. They need to just... I'm so glad that... What was his name? T.Y. Hilton isn't on the team anymore. I'm always going to be a fan of the Colts. You know, they were the first team I ever really liked growing up. So there's always a soft spot in my heart for the Colts. But I hated T.Y. Hilton. I'm so glad he's not on the team anymore. But yeah, the Colts just I don't know. This whole quarterback scheme, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. They have nothing but old quarterbacks the last couple of years, except for Carson Wentz. But Carson Wentz is Carson Wentz, so they just need to get a quarterback, man. Let Sam Ehlinger play or something, because this is unacceptable. Very easily could win the division, though. Watch out. Next, we got the Chargers, man. I hate talking about the Chargers. Hate talking about anyone in the division, but the Chargers especially, and the Raiders and Chiefs. Well, whole division. Anyways, Justin Herbert. Haven't heard much from him. Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack. Haven't heard anything from the greatest duo in the AFC West. Haven't heard anything from them. Austin Eckler still being inconsistent. He had an amazing game last Sunday, but is he gonna get hurt again? Is he gonna put up 10 yards next week? Probably, because he's not gonna do that 2 times in a row. I'll tell you that right now. He's not good enough for that. Keenan Allen, hopefully he stays injured by the time the Broncos play them. But, other than him, Michael Williams, is he still on the team? He's on the Chiefs now, isn't he? Mike Williams. Yeah, he's on the... No, he never got traded. He's still on the Chargers. Mike Williams is still on the Chargers. I'm tripping. He's still on the Chargers, yeah. Chargers just need to make some plays, man. Not against us, hopefully, but they need to make some plays. Justin Herbert, he's a good quarterback, you know what I mean? I think their offensive line is just not good. Defensive line, Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, even with them 2 on it, I don't think they're good. But yeah, secondary is a little They got Derwin James, Asante Samuel Jr., but they both get burned pretty consistently. They're not very reliable players, to say the least. Let's go on to the Chiefs next while we're already in the AFC West. I'm not going to talk about the Chiefs, man. I hate them. I hate them with a passion. Absolutely hate them. I hate Mahomes. I hate Kelsey. I hate just everything about the Chiefs. They piss me off. They play backyard football and win football games. You know what I mean? And teams lose to them strategically. It's pathetic. No one can game plan against the Chiefs. If I'm a defensive coordinator, I guarantee you the Chiefs are not scoring. You know what I mean? The Chiefs are very easy to beat. You gotta play zone with the safeties and just spread out the corners. You know what I mean? You gotta have one linebacker on the field with 5 players in the secondary. And put 4 rushers. That's all you gotta do. And they consistently just don't do that. And they make the Chiefs look amazing every game. I'm not going to lie, I thought the Chiefs weren't going to make the playoffs this year. That was the biggest prediction that I had. And wow, was I off. I don't have a lot to say about the Chiefs, man. I hate them. I'm not going to talk about them. Chiefs are going to be the Chiefs this year. Again, unfortunately. This was the year the Broncos were supposed to be the Chiefs for the first time in a very long time. And it doesn't look like they're going to even put up a point against the Chiefs. So, that's unfortunate. Let's go on to the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers isn't playing MVP status. I think we're all seeing that. Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. Where's the help? You know what I mean? Give Aaron Rodgers some help. These 2 players need to put up at least 150 yards a game. They're not doing that at all. The run game can't get going for the Packers, and it shows. These receivers for the Packers as well, man. Give Aaron Rodgers a target. why Devontae Adams left. Selfish. Money. He stays on the team. They're a pretty good football team. Because he leaves, now they got to pick up the slack and have a bunch more receivers, which leaves less depth for other positions. I mean, it's bad. They need help immediately. They just do. Plain and simple. They just need help. The defense for the Packers as well is not making plays like they need to. They're losing these games kind of because of the defense. But hey, they're 3-2. You know what I mean? So they're doing something right. Let's go on to the Dolphins, man. The Dolphins had an amazing start. Amazing start to the season. Completely blew away my expectations. I thought they were going to be one of the worst teams in the league. Everyone was talking trash about Tua. And what does he do? Just completely undefeated those first 3 games, I believe. And then gets the whole concussion thing. I'm not going to get into it. Y'all know what happened. I mean, this team, if they can protect Tua, and if Tua can stop getting concussions, this team was gonna look crazy. They shouldn't be 3-2. If Tua's not hurt, they're 5-0 with the Eagles. You know what I mean? Tua surprised me. I mean, he put in work this offseason because, wow, incredible. Their defense, bunch of no-names, but they're making plays. That's all you can ask for. They're 3-2 as well. I don't know when Tua's coming back, but, until he comes back, they're not really doing anything, especially with Teddy Bridgewater. Freaking joke. Let's go on to the Jets. The Jets, man, they have a positive winning record. Can you believe that? The Jets. This team is just strangely winning. You got Zach Wilson. He's a decent quarterback. But Breece Hall, man, what an underrated running back. He's making plays. He's not anything flashy, nothing crazy athletic, but he's just making plays and is really giving a spark to this Jets offense because they need it. Best believe they need it. Because can you name a Jets receiver? Because I can't. They don't have anyone worth mentioning. No one's making plays. You got Denzel Mims, Corey Davis, but what are they gonna do? They're not showing me nothing. Their offensive line is pretty banged up, but even before they were banged up, they're pretty trash. So, unfortunately, defensive side of the ball, I don't see anything worth mentioning. I can't name a defensive player on the Jets team except for that one defensive tackle who blessed himself at the NFL draft. Quentin Williams, I think his name. Name someone else on that defense. CJ Gardner. Is he doing good? I don't even know. Haven't heard his name that often. But, the Jets. Positive winning record. Close division. Gonna see who's gonna make it out. 49ers, man. Let's talk about the 49ers a little bit. Trey Young. Pfft, what? Did I just call him Trey Young? Trey Lance. Went down, man. He went down. Out for the season. Tough. But they had old, trusty, reliable Jimmy G. And unfortunately, 49ers are the 49ers again with Jimmy G. I cannot stand how they don't utilize their running backs correctly. I don't know why their running backs can't do good. You know, I was a big fan of their running backs they had a couple years back. They need to keep a running back there for more than 2 years. Let them develop into a good running back. I can't stand how they do that. Especially with Kyle Shanahan's offense. They can really thrive. You know, you got Debo Samuel, the football player, you know, because this man is an athlete. He is an athlete. You got Brandon Ayuk. You know, he's pretty fast. He's in the slot sometimes, but pretty inconsistent. He's not breaking out how they need him to. So he needs to step it up big time. George Kittle, been extremely quiet this season. He was also hurt, but, you know, even with the games back, he's probably not 100%. No, keep it real. He's not probably 100%. But he needs to come back and help this team out because they need it big time. Kyle Juszczyk, I mean, the best fullback in the league. He's also a football player. You know, line him up anywhere. He's going to get the job done. I'm a big fan of him. Their defense is, it's real. This is a physical, tough defense. It is swag. Just, I mean, confidence. This is a dangerous defense. You know, very underrated. Watch out for your team. 49ers somehow have a positive winning record. Will that stay? Probably not, but, you know, for what they have on their team, roster-wise, pretty impressed. Let's look at the Ravens. The Ravens should be 4-1. They're 3-2. Lamar Jackson is making incredible plays. If you watch Lamar Jackson play, the defense is so scared to play this man. He's so insane with the skill set that he has. I mean, he's consistently just making plays. And, I mean, I'm a big fan of Lamar Jackson. He's a running quarterback that does it correctly. You know, he puts himself in position to not really get injured like you'd think, you know? I'm just a big fan of Lamar Jackson. Big fan. I'm happy for him. The Ravens are going to have to pay this man insane amount of money. So that's going to be a big headline leading into the end of the season. But, you know, I don't really have them outside. Lamar just makes the whole team just kind of go, to be honest. Because their running backs are trash. You know, they're trash. Like, you don't need a running back. You know what I mean? Just put an extra tight end to help block for Lamar. You know? What's the point? Mark Andrews is the best tight end in the league. You know, stop playing. Kelsey is not the best. Mark Andrews is the best tight end in the league. He's making tough contested catches and just making clutch plays left and right. This receiver core for Baltimore, they just need to step up, man. I mean, there's no true number one receiver on this team. You know what I mean? He wants to throw to Andrews, and I don't blame him because everyone else on the team sucks. But, yeah. Their defense, it's okay. They can get after the quarterback. Their secondary is okay. Marcus Peters, he's just, he's someone that I would definitely want on my team. He just brings, Aqib Talib vibes, to be honest with you. But yeah. Then you got, the second greatest kicker of all time, Justin Tucker, making clutch field goals left and right, game winners consistently. Insane. I mean, Justin Tucker is insane. No other way to put it. Let's go into the Titans. Somehow they have a winning record. I mean, I think their wins are completely lucky. There's, who would expect the Titans to do good? Because not me. I don't like Ryan Tannehill. I never have, never will. I think Malik Willis needs to start. I don't know how they're giving Ryan Tannehill the ball still. They're still going to give him the ball. They're winning, But I think they would do the exact same with Malik Willis. Derrick Henry, like I said, he needs to run 150 yards a game for them to secure a dub. Their receivers, you got Austin Hooper. Who else? You got Robert Woods, coming off an ACL injury. He's already kind of getting up there in age. They're missing A.J. Brown big time, This defense, I can't name a defensive player on the Saints. The Titans. Their defense is just random guys out there. But they're winning, It's hard to hate on someone when they're winning. They're getting dubs in the column. That's all that matters. Let's go into the Buccaneers with old Tommy. Old Tommy and his, personal problems. The Buccaneers don't look that hot, man. They don't look that hot this season. Mike Evans, he's doing pretty good. Chris Godwin, I think he's getting injured a little bit too often for what I like to see. But, you got Julio Jones. This whole team is just stacked with veteran players. And you expect them to do good, I don't really have much to say about the Bucs. They have a decent team. It's just decent. They're not blowing teams out. They're not losing to trash teams. They're just decent. But that's all you got to do. As long as you get dubs, doesn't matter how good you are. Let's go on with the Vikings. The Vikings, man. I don't know how they're 4-1. I really don't. It's a very odd team because I was not expecting them to do anything. And, they lost that Monday night game really bad to the Eagles. But, other than that, man, this team is crazy. Really crazy. Justin Jefferson is being insane. This defense is making plays. I think they're running the ball effectively as well. This team goes as Kirk Cousins goes. If he plays good, the team plays good. They need to just find a way to make him consistent, and this team can be scary. But until then, I'm not too scared of them, even though they're 4-1. And even though they would probably beat us. But, Let's go on with the Giants, man. Where's all the Daniel Jones haters at? Because you're not going to find one here. Daniel Jones isn't crazy in terms of athleticism. in terms of spectacular throws. But you know what he does? He does enough to get the team a dub. And that's all I want from a quarterback, is to help your team get a dub. I don't understand the hate, man. Daniel Jones is he's getting the job done. You can't hate on someone for that. You can't. I'm proud of him. You know? I'm proud of him. But, you know, other than that, I just need to see some help from other people on that team, personally. They need to help him out big time. I would assume that these receivers need to start just helping him out. Saquon Barkley doesn't. He can't do it himself in terms of production. This receiver core for the Giants, the fact that they are even 4-1 boggles my mind. They have the worst receiving core, I think, in the entire NFL. This receiving core is awful. It has almost no skill. It's that bad. I mean, it's insane. Truly insane. Defense is making just enough plays when they need it most. And, I mean, they're 4-1. You can't hate on a team that's 4-1, you know? Let's go into the Cowboys, man. Shout out to freaking Cooper Rush. I thought the Cowboys were done. You know, I had no faith in Cooper Rush. Zero faith. Now I have more faith in him than Dak Prescott. And that's being real. Cooper Rush needs to play the rest of the season, regardless of Dak Prescott's injury. He needs to play the whole season until he just consistently plays bad. There's no reason why he needs to be put on the bench. There's no reason. Zeke is playing good. Pollard's playing good. The offensive line is doing a little bit better. Cooper Rush is playing good. The receivers are playing better. The defense is incredible. I was not expecting the Cowboys defense to be good at all. And they're making plays. They're getting after the quarterback every single play. Every single play. Shout out to the Cowboys, man. I mean, to me, it was one of the biggest surprises of the year. I'm excited to see what they're going to do. Truly am. Got a couple teams left. Let's go off with the Bills next. Josh Allen. I mean, is there anything else you got to say about Josh Allen? I mean, if you watch this team play, they can put up 50 points if they want to every game. They make a lot of dumb mistakes to keep teams in the game. If they clean up those mistakes, they're blowing teams out. They just need to play better, man. Honestly, I mean, they're 4-1, but they need to play better. They're not doing what they need to do in a lot of situations. They're keeping a lot of games close sometimes, or they'll get teams, you know, I don't know. If you watch them play, they need to play smart because they could put up 50 points. I'm serious. They have the best receiving core in the league. Let's go with the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles are truly, I mean, insane. Jalen Hurts is that guy. And I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of him. I feel like a dad, man. Because people hate on this guy. They hated on him. He went so late in the draft. And I felt like I was the only one who was like, man, no one wants this guy? For real? You know, you have probably the hardest worker coming out of the draft. The most humble player. And you don't want them on your team. Incredible. I mean, the Eagles, shout out for them, for blocking out the hate. Why'd y'all draft him? Bench him, he sucks. I mean, shout out, they give him A.J. Brown, they put some players around him. I'm very happy for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. And this upcoming Sunday night game, bro, I can't even wait. Cowboys and the Eagles, come on, dude. This is going to be a game. I cannot wait for it, dude. It's going to be awesome. I hope it's going to be living up to the expectations because this is going to be an insane game. I hope it is. Shout out to the Eagles, though, man. 5-0. Big kudos. Where do I begin? Man, where do I begin? My Broncos, man, have hurt me in a way that is immeasurable. The amount of hype that this team had in the offseason was incredible. Truly, truly incredible. The amount of pieces that we added to this team in the offseason. I mean, it makes me mad. It makes me truly mad. Everything started to fall apart around training camp before preseason games. We lose Tim Patrick, big body receiver, to an ACL. I was like, damn, that sucks. But we still got Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler. We got some young rookies. We'll be fine. Then Jerry Jeudy gets arrested. I'm like, okay, this isn't getting too hot of a start. He comes back though. Fine, Preseason comes along, no starter plays. I'm like, okay, it's a little strange. Let the young guys kind of play. Understand. Second game, no starters play again. I'm like, okay. We get blown out by the Bills because they play their starters. I was like, okay, they're the Super Bowl champs this year, so I don't mind getting blown out by them. Third game, play no starters again. I'm like, okay, this sucks. We're just saving the starters for the regular season. So this whole preseason, we don't get to see any of the starters play. We don't get to see any of the starters play. And, we can't see how the scheme works, how the play calling works, nothing. So the Broncos go into week 1 in Seattle, and they should have won that game. I mean, there's no excuse. Fumbled 2 times in the end zone. Missed a whole bunch of catches in the end zone. Horrible clock management, play calling, and just situational football. They lost the game, because of that. Then they go and beat the Texans, Texans, luckily, are trash, so we're able to beat them. But we almost lose. We have to literally win the last couple minutes of the game in order for us to do what we need to do to win that game. And we go to week 3. We beat the 49ers in a tough defensive game. We do absolutely nothing offensively. But we win. Defense balled out, made crazy plays. So, yeah, I was looking pretty good, 2-1. Next thing you know, we we got to play the Raiders. And just embarrassment. True embarrassment. We let the Raiders just run all over us. And, I mean, pathetic. Pathetic to say the least. I mean, the injuries on this team is incredible, man. I can't even describe to you the amount of players that are out. You know? We lose to the Colts, man. The Colts. That was one of the worst games I've seen the Broncos play in the last, 6 years or so. The fact they lost that game is comedic, to say the least. This team, Russell Wilson, this playbook, everything on the offensive side is just disgusting to watch. Devontae Williams, Tim Patrick, offensive linemen. We have 3 starting offensive linemen that aren't playing. A guard, both tackles, starting running back, number 2 receiver. That's a lot of players hurt just on the offensive side. Defensive side, we're playing amazing, even with the backups. Randy Gregory got hurt. We filled in the pieces. Justin Simmons is out. Unfortunately. He should be back soon, hopefully. Kareem Jackson, not making that many plays this season. The season's over, man. I hate to say it. The season's already over for the Broncos. We can't even tank because we gave up the first round picks for the next 2 years. No point. But they need to figure out what to do with this scheme because we're scoring no points. Again. They're making Russell Wilson a pocket passer when he isn't one. It's a joke. This team is a joke. It is a true embarrassment to be a Bronco fan right now. The memes are insane. The team just... On the offensive side, man, if you look at the pieces that we have, not including injuries, you'll be like, wow, this team is going to put up 30 points a game. We can't even score touchdowns. I don't know what to say, man. Huge disappointment. And I'm not even excited to watch them play anymore. You know what I mean? When your team has fans leaving at the end of the fourth quarter, when it's about to go into overtime, because they know the team is going to lose, that's how you know something needs to change. Because this has been the same situation 6 years in a row. We have a decent roster. Everyone gets hurt before halfway of the season. We don't have a quarterback playing at the way we need to. It's the same thing. Different names on the jerseys. Truly a disappointment. And, I'm not even showing raw emotion, I don't have the drive to. They just make me this mad. But, yeah, that is all of the teams, man. All the teams in the NFL. Roster moves, kind of looking what the teams are doing. But, yeah, that is kind of what the NFL looks like right now. What y'all think? Who y'all got winning it all? Wouldn't it be crazy if we get the Bills and the Eagles Super Bowl? That would be an awesome game to see. I'm just excited for the Cowboys, man. I'm not a big Cowboys fan, but they got me hyped this season. I don't know why, But yeah, that's pretty much everything that I was going to talk about. Next episode is going to be a lot shorter. This is just kind of a catch-up episode just to kind of speak about the teams, predictions of the year, stuff like that. But, let's see what this season's going to look like, man. This season has a lot of close games. A lot of people in the divisions are very close. Let's see how it's going to turn out, man. It's going to be an interesting season. I feel like a lot of teams can kind of slip into the playoffs and be a sleeper, you know? But let's move on to picks of the week. We got the Commanders and the Bears Thursday. That's going to be a horrible, boring game. But I think the Commanders are going to win that game. I truly do. I think they're going to win that game. Vikings and the Dolphins. Tua's not playing. Teddy Bridgewater's probably not going to play. Minnesota has no reason why they should not win this game. Patriots and the Browns. You got to give it to the Browns, man. I don't think Bill Belichick is going to have an answer for this two-headed monster run offense that the Browns have. I don't think he has the roster to even stop them anyway. The 49ers and the Falcons. I think the 49ers are going to just shut the Falcons out. There should be no reason the Falcons win this game. No reason. Absolutely no reason. If they win this game, wow. 49er fans will be depressed for weeks with that loss. Buccaneers and the Steelers. I mean, the Bucs have to win that. There's no reason why a Bucs defense can't beat Kyle Pickett. There should be no reason. Saints and the Bengals. That's going to be a very boring game. I'm not going to watch it, but I think the Bengals are going to win that one. I think they just have a more consistent team than the Saints. The Saints can't do anything, but it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a close game, but I got the Bengals winning that one. Ravens and the Giants, 2 4-1 teams. I got the Ravens on that one, but, you know, I got the Ravens winning, but you know what? I'm rooting for the Giants. Come on. Come on, Daniel Jones. Prove everyone in the league wrong. Step up and beat the Ravens, and look what's going to happen. Jets and the Packers. This should be a good game, to be honest. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to have 2 bad games in a row. I think he's gonna get it done. He's going to get it done. Jacksonville and the Colts. Man, you got a trash team versus a good defense. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. I would think the Colts can win this game. I think they can win. I'm going there with Colts on that one. Cardinals and the Seahawks. Man, the Cardinals defense needs to step up, but I do believe I think the Cardinals can expose the Seahawks defense. I truly do. Got the Cardinals on that one. Panthers and the Rams. I'm sorry, but I mean, the Panthers have no chance with the Rams. I think the Rams are going to just expose the Panthers for just everything. I hope the Panthers can win because I don't like the Rams. I don't like Aaron Donald, but I don't think they can get it done. But I hope they do. The Bills and the Chiefs play, man. I think that's going to be like second game of the week. I love how they play at 3. You know what I mean? Because then after that game, you know, you got the Cowboys and the Eagles. But, you know, we're talking about the Chiefs and the Bills right now. I really, really, really hope the Bills just blow out the Chiefs. I really hope. I'm going for the Chiefs. I mean, what? Wow. Okay. I'm going to go like dump my head in bleach. I can't believe I just said that. Going for the Bills. The Bills. Please. Please blow out the Chiefs. Please. That's all we ask as AFC fans. Just blow out the Chiefs. Please. We got the Eagles and the Cowboys, man. Sunday Night Football. Oh, man, dude. I cannot wait for this game. I cannot wait. I'm going to make so much food for this game. Sunday, I'm going to be whipping it up in the kitchen. Because this is going to be an amazing game that I want to have a good meal to. And we have 4 teams on a bye week. We have the Lions and the Titans, Texans, and the Raiders. They all have bye weeks. And the last game of the week, another primetime embarrassment, Broncos and the Chargers. I got the Broncos, man. You know, gotta believe in my team, you know. Especially against the Chargers. We somehow can beat the Chargers with the worst rosters possible. So, I gotta hope that we can beat them as well. 2 times in a row. But, yeah. Either way, it's not gonna be pretty. We're extreme underdogs in this game. By betting standards. But, yeah. Let's see how everything's going to go. I really hope that the Broncos can at least win this. Because, like I said, there's no tanking. We don't have picks. You know, we got to just win games. And it's going to be difficult with the players that we don't have out there. Let's hope for the best, though. So, guys, that's pretty much it. The video is going to come to an end here. Appreciate y'all if you stayed, listened to the whole thing. Or, you know, if you listened to a little bit, if you wanted to hear your team, that's okay. You know, I'm here for every team. Next video, probably going to be about a week from today. I try to do it every Tuesday and Wednesday, or at least that's what I'm going to try to do. Yeah, hopefully it was entertaining. You know, hopefully you learned a thing or two. But it's going to be a lot shorter episode next week. Just because, you know, had to catch up a little bit on this one. But yeah, I appreciate y'all guys for listening. And stay tuned. Season's just getting started. All right. Deuces.